Hi guys, and welcome back to episode 24 of the Spfl RTG on FC25, where we're showing the highlights of our final 5 games in Champs using the players from the 12 different teams available in the Scottish Premiership. But I did say I would give a little update in the last video on how the main team was looking, and you'll get a wee update on how it was looking after the weekend league at the end of it. But if you are new around here, please like, subscribe, check out the other content on the video, not just the SPFL RTG, but other content as well. As you can see, we selected Lennon Miller for our Become Immortal Evo. I thought that was probably prudent. We do have some highlights of the games before our final 5 games. This one in particular I thought was an interesting one to include. It's not actually a goal scored, it's a tackle / interception that put him through on goal. I wasn't at all happy with that happening, but hey ho, we do end up pulling it back to 3-3, and then we do take the lead in the game. A nice wee dummy from the player of the weekend league for me, Josh Campbell, and Danny Armstrong puts it into the back of the net to give us the lead in this game. We do seal the deal as well with the exact same player, Danny Armstrong. Kyogo skipping away from his man by Rami, threads it through to Danny Armstrong. Lovely little dink over the goalkeeper. But we do have one more goal to show you from that particular game, because if you remember rightly, we were measuring when each club had a goal scorer for them, and Nadim Rami does end up getting them in on the act, and we do add Rangers to the list of clubs scored for this particular weekend league, and then we get another one added to the goal scoring club sheet, if you like, with James Penrice adding Hearts to the clubs scored in this particular fixture as well. Also in this particular fixture, same one actually, this one wasn't adding St Johnstone on it because Carey had already scored, but I was just particularly happy with this goal. Carey's nice close control with his 99 dribbling, fires it into the back of the net, and that was enough for that guy in the end. But going into the final 5 games, as you can see, we are 6-4, so that elusive 11 wins is still on for us. Here is our first opponent that we're coming up against, and we do look to try and get a positive start. Not great from me there, to be fair. Ronaldo out on the wing, turns, gives it to Martin Odegaard. Defending could have been better from me with Dan Casey there for sure, but a little Rabona pass into Ronaldo, and we go 1-0 down. We do try and score straight from the kickoff. Not happening. What a throw that was out to Ronaldo. Garcia picks Ronaldo out with a beautiful ball. And, you know, one of those things where, like, I've pressed a button, it's not registered, and he just keeps the ball going. We find ourselves 2-0 down in this game, unfortunately. And unfortunately for us, it doesn't get any better. Pretty poor from me there, it has to be said. Gray through to Ronaldo, and a little chop inside. Again, poor defending from me. All over the place at this point. Getting what I deserve for that point in the game. So we find ourselves 3-0 down, and it's only going to get worse from here, unfortunately. We do intercept the pass originally, but he does read us like a book. Ball goes through to that evil Luis Suarez, who is never going to miss from there. And less than 35 minutes into the game, we find ourselves 4-0 down, which is not good whatsoever. And once again, it's only going to get worse. Luis Suarez through on goal here. We're trying to cut it out. It's again, you know, one of those FIFA goals, if you like, but it's still poor from me, and we find ourselves 5-0 down before half time. We're looking to try and get back into the game. It's not going to happen. He's got a counter on Odegaard through for Miles Lewis-Skelly, who fires that into the back of the net. Not good from our point of view. 6-0 down before half time. Not the way I wanted to start the final 5 games, and unfortunately for us, it's probably meaning that the 11 wins once again is going to remain out of reach. Nice little bit of footwork there from Josh Campbell, again the player of the weekend league from this one time around, to get us back into the game. Don't know what I was trying there with Jota. Yeah, I was never going to end up getting anywhere there. He gives it to Palmer, who gives it to Suarez over the top and finishes for 7-1. We do score another goal in this game to get us a bit of pride back. Penrice on the wing, gives it to Jota, who gives it to Campbell, who fires into the back of the net. Conor Randall trying to get us a bit more pride. Not great from our point of view. Ball gets fired into the box, and to be fair to him, it's a lovely finish. There was one other goal that we scored in this game, as you can see, which I didn't actually record for whatever reason, but we did lose 8-3. Not a good start to the Weekend League. On to the second game of the Weekend League here. Jota for Penrice, bombing forward, trying to get ourselves a good start to this game, and we do through Danny Armstrong. Standard RTG goal there. To be fair, Josh Campbell skips away, but it's a really good tackle, to be fair. If one more touch and we're through on goal. Danny Olmo feeds it through for Caroline Graham Hansen, who chips Butland. Butland probably should be doing a lot better there, but we know what to expect from Jack Butland now, and we find ourselves 1-1 in this game. Luis Suarez, for the second game in a row, we're coming up against that flashback being eviled, and this is really poor from us. There's no room to turn there at all, and we just gift it to Gareth Bale, who fires into the back of the net. 2-1 down. Danny Olmo comes forward. We do put the tackle in. Graham Carey, lovely ball out wide for Jota. He takes it forward, gives it to Danny Armstrong, who looks for a bit of support from the one and only Josh Campbell, and he fires into the back of the net. I'm wanting to get him into an Evo sooner rather than later, because he's very enjoyable to use each time I use him, to be fair. Graham Carey skipping forward on the ball, and it's a lovely finish with his weaker foot to put us 3-2 up in this game. We're coming forward now with Bomono. Tried to give it the cut back to Trapanovsky, got the interception in, but Josh Campbell was there. Again, bit scrappy, but it comes to Bomono. Campbell through for Danny Armstrong. Lovely hit from him to make it 4-2. And we did score another goal in this game, but again, didn't record it, and it was 5-2 this game finished, so we get a win in our next game after that. In this one, the guy had an early sending off. We missed the free kick. And that was him coming forward from the free kick. We gave it to Josh Campbell, lovely turn and finish, and that was enough for this guy immediately, and we win the next game. He dashboarded to achieve the goal of getting rid of his red card. So that's us 2-1 in our final 5 games. We come into this next game against our Spurs, past and present, with the exception of a couple of players like Maradona, for example. And we do go 1-0 down with a chip finish, which Butland, he just stands still whenever you try and chip him anyway. We do try and get ourselves back in the game. Ball fired forward, a little bit too much pace on it for King to just keep clear. Jota for Trapanovsky, and we find ourselves 1-1 in the game. We look to try and take advantage of the momentum, get ourselves 2-1 up in the game. Trapanovsky could have been given as a foul there, but it wasn't. Referee plays on, we give the ball away. He looks to find Gareth Bale in acres of space, and Bale 1v1 there. Very surprised if Jack Butland does anything about it. 2-1 down we find ourselves. Rubizic with the interception. Conor Randall fires it forward to Jota. He's looking to spread it, get a bit of options, but just gets bullied off the ball. I think it was Archie Gray there. Diego Maradona on his left foot. Travella, back of the net, 3-1 down. Not great. Vicario on the ball, throws it out. Destiny Udogie. This is just before half-time, of course. He's looking to try and extend his lead just before half-time. We do very poorly to win the ball back there. He threads it through for James Maddison, who fires into the back of the net. We find ourselves 4-1 down just before half-time. Now, not proud of this, but he either put his controller down for whatever reason and stopped playing, or his pad was disconnecting with batteries. But, if the same thing happened to me, people would take full advantage against me, and that's exactly what I intended to do. He was starting to play again at this point. We did end up conceding another goal, which some people might say was justice done or karma from Maradona. We go 5-2 down, but once again he must have been getting called or something like that, because he did put the pad down, not playing, and we take advantage through some substitutions. Pretty poor from me defensive going forward there, but Kevin Nisbet scores, adding Aberdeen onto the list of clubs that have scored for us this weekend, and as you can see, we take the ball off him from kickoff there with Kyogo to make it 5-4 to get back into the game. From here on out, though, he was playing, so anything scored here would have to be earned. We do end up giving it to Danny Armstrong, who gives it to Tony Watt. Luckily, there picks it up. Kyogo gives it to Eliuan, who travellas into the back of the net. And we have our equaliser. Deserved? I'll let you decide. But we do actually go with him playing, to be fair, take the lead. A lovely ball through for Kyogo. He takes it on the turn well. Little ball roll to create the space. Through for Danny Armstrong. A little bit of composure, waiting on the goalie movement. And we take the lead 6-5 in the game. And we extend the lead, actually. James Penrice gives it to Mo Silla for Tony Watt. Out wide for Bomono. He tries the offside trap, doesn't work. Bomono delivers it in, and it's a lovely first-time finish from our Evo Eliuan there. And we do win this game 7-5. On to our last game to secure 10 wins if we get the win done. Pretty poor dribbling from me. Don't know actually what I was trying to do there. But he does get a couple of lucky bounces to get through with Gerd Muller there, and he goes 1-0 up. I wasn't at all happy at that goal, but it is what it is. Casillas throws it out to Vasquez, gives it to Doumbia. We win it back with Penrice originally, but we pass it straight back to Doumbia. Probably should be winning the ball back there again. He's through on goal with Gerd Muller, and he finishes it off 2-0. I'm not happy with my performance in this game at all at this point, and we find ourselves 2-0 down. We win the ball high up, give it out wide to Trapanovsky. He threads it through for Graham Carey. He's looking for an option. And Danny Armstrong, great take from him. Lovely pass and lovely finish from the man of the weekend, Josh Campbell, to get us back into the game 2-1. We win the ball again high up through Trapanovsky. Josh Campbell skipping away from his markers. He looks to thread it through to Jota, who travellas it into the back of the net. And we get our equaliser just before half-time. As you can see, pretty late on in the game, not much happened up to that point. We are looking to see if we can snatch a winner in this game. We thread the ball through to Danny Armstrong. He gives it to Bayrami, who fires into the back of the net, and we put ourselves in a position to win this game and take us to 10 wins. Unfortunately, after not a lot happening in the second half, we don't get the win straight away from there. He scores through Doumbia from kickoff to make it 3-3, which takes us into extra time in this game. Bomono forward for Maida. Kyogo's on the ball, gives it to Bayrami, and a chip over the goalie for 4-3. And then we find ourselves in a position, he's going forward. Zola for Doumbia. Forward, gives it back to Zola. The defence just nowhere to be seen. Butland terrible again, and it's 4-4. Just before half-time, in extra time though, we do end up taking the lead again. Maida for Bayrami, skips away from Blanc, pretty luckily there to be fair, and we get the standard Kyogo goal, cut back and into the back of the net for 5-4. He's got a throw-in out wide in the second half of extra time. Bruno Fernandes then finds his man in Gareth Bale. We don't close him down. Doumbia fires it into the back of the net for 5 each. Next goal, going to be crucial in the game. We pick up a free kick towards the halfway line. Dan Casey for Bomono, back to Dan Casey. Feeds it for Eliuan, skips away from his man. We get a huge slice of luck there. Falls to Kyogo with that low-driven plus, and we did win the game and we got 10 wins. Here's an Evo that we've got with the companion app Evo. We've got Dre right into it at the moment. Once he finishes, I'm going to put the Hawk Evo on him most likely, unless we get an Evo that I think would be better suited for that. And this is how the team is looking currently after that weekend league. We've of course played another weekend league since then. As you can see, we've finished that Lennon Miller Evo. Graham Carey went into the Evo that dropped yesterday for a left mid, and he's going up to 92 rated, and will replace Tony Watt in the starting 11 for the team. And then we'll see what other Evos drop today with the Cup, the Immortals Cup as well. The next video is the weekend league, where it's not really highlights being played. I wanted to see how the community creativity was in terms of how many times do I come up against the 4-2-1-3, how many times am I playing against Theo Hernandez and Luis Suarez and people like that, Casillas in goals, that sort of thing, to see how much, videos of here's my custom tactics, here's the meta players has ruined the ultimate team experience of people not using unique teams like I've got instead, and just going for the meta players that will help me win. You know, I'm not claiming to be one of the best players at this game. I certainly am, but consistently getting 10 wins in champs with this team, approaching the elite division, Division 1, that sort of stuff with this team, you know, you can have fun on the game doing unique stuff without needing to go meta and just sweating out all the time and not having fun while winning, is my point of view. Anyway, if you are new around here, please like, subscribe, check out the other content on the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.